Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jayadhamadabha Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Sri Radha. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Panchatattva, 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 Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Paribhraja Kacharya, Astotra Satat Srimad, Divine Grace, Sampādayan, Srila Abhacharana Vinda Bhakti-vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Paribhraja Kacharya, Astotra Satat Srimad, Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasata Kur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavin Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Kahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Si Advaita Gadadhar Si Vasari Si Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Si Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Savrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Se Mayapanavadip Dham Ki Jai. Se Nilachala Jagannathpura Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakta Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Binda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the summer devotees. All glories to the summer devotees. All glories to the summer devotees. All glories to Sisi Gauranga Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswati vyasa tato jaya mudiraye nasta praye svabhadrisu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16. Title of this chapter is How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. Text 34 to 36. 34 to 36, right? So the last, only 36 is there. Also, we have to read 36. But before then, let me just read text 34 and 35. Just the English, just the translation, so that we can have a background of that text. 34. O personality of Godhead, O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by the undue military phalanxes arranged by atheistic kings, and I was relieved by the grace of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, you are also in a distressed condition, weakened in your standing strength, and thus he also incarnated by his internal energy in the family of the Yadus to relieve you. Purport. By his divine grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta is confirmed Acharya, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If someone tells you to glorify them, it's a different thing. But to glorify Prabhupada, what is the loss? What is the diminution? We stand to gain when we glorify Prabhupada. Even just by glorifying. So how many of you here that someone tells you, oh Jai Govinda, you are so great? You'll be happy. You said he's giving some encouraging words. But then if someone else comes and says, Govinda, you're stupid. You feel different. Words have the power to make us feel great, to feel happy, or words can demoralize us. So glorification of the Acharya is very much recommended in the scriptures, in our own tradition. And when we say Srila Prabhupada ki, we should, shout to the top of our voices, because that basically is an appreciation of what Prabhupada has given to us. So, purport, the asuras want to enjoy a life of sense gratification, even at the cost of others' happiness. In order to fulfill this ambition, the asuras, especially atheistic kings or state executive heads, try to equip themselves with all kinds of deadly weapons to bring about a war in a peaceful society. They have no ambition other than personal aggrandizement, and thus Mother Earth feels overburdened by such undue increases of military strength. By increase of the Asuric population, those who follow the principles of religion become unhappy, especially the devotees or devas. In such a situation, the personality of Godhead incarnates to vanquish the unwanted asuras, and to re-establish the true principles of religion. This was the mission of Lord Sri Krishna, and he fulfilled it. Text 35. Who therefore, translation, who therefore can tolerate the pangs of separation from that Supreme Personality of Godhead? He could conquer the gravity and passionate wrath of his sweethearts like Satyabhama by his sweet smile of love, pleasing glance, and hearty appeals. When it traversed my earth's surface, I would be immersed in the dust of his lotus feet, and thus would be sumptuously covered with grass, which appeared like hairs standing on me out of pleasure. Purport. There were chances of separation between the Lord and his thousands of queens because of the Lord's being absent from home. But as far as his connection with earth was concerned, the Lord would traverse the earth with his lotus feet, and therefore there was no chance of separation. When the Lord left the surface of the earth to return to his spiritual abode, the earth's feelings of separation were therefore more acute. Okay, so text 36. Tayo evam katayato Prithvi dhamayastadha Parikshinamarajashi Prapta prachim saraswatim Tayo evam katayato Prithvi dhamayastadha Parikshinamarajashi Prapta prachin saraswatim. Can someone try? Mataji's. Word for word translation by His Divine Grace is confirmed. Acharya Srila Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Thank you. Taya, between them, evam, does, katayato, engage in conversation. This is a good one. Prithivi, earth, dharmaya, and the personality of religion. Tada, at that time. Parikshit, King Parikshit. Nama, of the name. Rajarishi, a saint amongst kings. Praptaha, arrived. Prachim, flowing towards the east. Saraswatim, river Saraswati. While the earth and the personality of religion were thus engaged in conversation, the saintly King Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east. Please responsibly repeat. While the earth and the personality of religion were thus engaged in conversation, the saintly King Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. Omagyanatimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Saksuru Melitam Jena Tasmai Si Gurave Namaha Si Chaitanya Manobhistam Stafitam Jena Bhutali Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vancha Kalpatari Becha Kripasan Bhya Becha Patitanam Pavanambhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Itinamani Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pacharane Nirvisesa Sanyamadi Pasatara. So, these three verses are very relevant to our process of spiritual inquiry. And today is a very special day in our devotional lives and even in our non-devotional lives. Because Krishna is the Lord of the devotees, but He is also the Lord of everyone. So we can't say, Krishna is my Lord. Krishna is the Lord of everyone. Some people recognize that He is there for them, some people don't. Some people are covered by the veil of false proprietorship, of false identification, or covered by the veil of identity crisis. And so that comes the difference between the deva and the asura. The deva understands that veil is not there. He understands, I am meant for the service of Krishna. The asura, that veil is there, and so it's imbued with phenomenological mindset. Phenomenological mindset means, I see the whole universe as a means for me to exploit, to enjoy. I mean, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, in the previous purport, that the asuras, their main business is how to exploit the resources of nature for their enjoyment. Exploring and exploiting the resources of nature, no problem with that. But for what? For personal enjoyment is a phenomenological mindset, or āsura-bhava. So today is a very special day on this planet, because it's a day that we commemorate the various activities of the Lord. It's called akṣauhiṇī-śatam. Akṣaya means non-diminutive or unending. The Lord came to this universe, to the material universes, to enact different type of pastimes. And so today is the day that a number of auspicious activities took place. And so they are just bunched together for people to take advantage of and initiate a positive spiritual change in their lives. So if you have an initiative, do it today. Get it initiated today. And you'll be met with success. And today, basically, also is the beginning of the Chandana Yatra. You know, if you're a good observer, you come into the temple room, you're a good observer, you'll be seeing our devotees busy, grinding sandalwood for using it on the body of the Lord, or the body of their lordships. Because we see that during this period of the year there's intense heat because of the scorching sun. And so the devotee treats the Lord like the way mothers or a loving father will treat their child. The mother wouldn't even eat except the child eats. Mothers, is it not true? Father may be busy outside, but then the people, they complain, why my son loves the mother more than me? Why not? So the devotee treats the Lord as a child, as a pet child. So they're watching to see when this period comes, when the sun is so scorching and then it generates so much of heat, and they have a chance to be able to grind sandalwood and camphor, to be able to smear or rub on the body of the Lord. So the devotees have been very busy. Past couple of days, they've been very busy doing that. And so today is the beginning of the Chandana Yatra. And Chandana Yatra will last for 21 days. So we'll say something about these verses of the Bhagavatam, and then we also bring in some pastimes relating to the akṣauhiṇī-śatam and the Chandana Yatra. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna mentions that there are two classes of people: the devas and the asuras. The devas, they are very much inclined towards satisfying or executing the instructions of the Lord. They're interested in trying to fulfill the mission, facilitating the fulfillment of the mission of the Lord. The asuras, they're completely opposite. And so these asuras, they also have their agents. And their agents are the demoniac kings. Prabhupada mentions how in the purport that the earth was overburdened. In fact, even in the main text, the earth was overburdened and was just looking for a way of relief. By the way, you see that the Bhagavatam basically in most cases is a dialogue between two persons. A dialogue. Conversation. When it's a conversation between two persons, it's called a dialogue. So we find in one case, Parikshit is receiving instructions from the speaker of the Bhagavatam. And here, there is a conversation between Mother Earth and the personification of religion. And so, during that conversation, Parikshit emerged, and where he met them was by the shore of the Saraswati River. So Mother Earth was complaining. I mean, it's just like what basically had happened even before the advent of Lord Krishna that invokes the presence of Lord Krishna. The earth was overburdened by miscreants, all in the name of, Kshatriya kings. But they were kings who were just interested in invading other kingdoms, that the kings were a little bit weaker than them. It should be a complementary thing. If someone is stronger than me, they should use their powers to protect me. Not use their powers to crush me or come and capture come and take my wife away, take my children away, or rape my kids. That's what is going on. And that's what has been going on. So the activities of the miscreant kings created a burden on Mother Earth. And so this conversation we see that Mother Earth was not happy, and she was also explaining how when Lord Krishna was on the planet, Lord Krishna walks and his footprints could be seen on the earth. If you go to some areas in Vrindavan, you still find Krishna's footprints. And so that was exciting to really reflect on that. Is something that was very exciting for Bhumi. Yes, she was, if you're having so much of trouble, but wonderful things that happen in your life, at least when you're even suffering, you're going through those horrible walks of life, if you reflect about the wonderful things that have happened, that gives you some type of sukha, some type of solace. But sometimes we're too busy making our problems, our challenges, our object of worship, our deity, instead of also reflecting on the good things that have happened in our lives, to be able to appreciate how merciful the Lord is. So Bhumi, this is a brief conversation, but it's very instructive. How someone could be subjected to so much misery, but still remembers the good old days, the good things that happened in their lives. So the asuras, they're very much interested in, Prabhupada used the word self-aggrandizement. And in the Gita, Lord Krishna had mentioned some of the characteristics of the asuras to be Aham-bhogi, Siddhoham, Balawan-sukhi. Aham-bhogi means I am the enjoyer. This world is meant for my enjoyment. Siddhoham, I am perfect. Perfection, all perfection, you found in me. And just think about this. and relate to even what is happening on the planet right now. The superior powers, they think, Sidoham, Balawan Suki, I am perfect, I am powerful. If you don't keep quiet about what I say, I will nuke you. And I have ballistic missiles that could destroy intercontinental ballistic missiles. These were exact mindset, part of the exact mindset of the then asuras. Of course, in those days, when the demigods get defeated through all of these wars, which were devoid of ballistic weapons, the wars were like, one-to-one, face-to-face. And the difference also is that those who initiate the wars, they didn't sit back in their cozy offices. They come to the war front. Even Lord Ramachandra went to the war front. So these asuric mindsets, people with asuric mindsets, they simply want to exploit others. And we all have, to some degree, some type of asuric mindset. To the degree that we want to exploit others, to that degree, we have a phenomenological mindset. So it is important for us to understand the implications of Lord Krishna leaving the material world to a spiritual abode. So Bhumi is reflecting on that. And Krishna had how many wives? How many wives? 16,108. Yeah. That's amazingly great. So we have, the queens like Satyabhama. They were so lucky. They have a chance to be able to, take care of Krishna. Have a conversation with Krishna every day. Prepare Krishna some sumptuous meals. Can you imagine their great fortune? But when Krishna left the earth, they felt a heavy pang of separation. And even when Krishna travels, they felt a heavy pang of separation. Mother Earth, Bhumi, never felt any separation because Krishna was always traversing on her, on the surface of the earth. So if we think about it, we may say the queens were superlatively fortunate. What about Mother Bhumi? Bhumi was too. And perhaps she could be placed on a very high pedestal. She is on a high pedestal because the separation that the wives of Krishna had when Krishna had to travel, Bhumi never had that. Krishna is traveling, that is to the pleasure of Bhumi, because Bhumi will be massaging her feet. All true. So, here we are seeing previous text, we have seen the whole of the chapter is about reception. Reception of good person or bad person. Acceptance of change. We resist change like anything. But Parikshit is giving us some idea on how to accept, how to be able to receive, to embrace what comes. But the manner we have to do that is what is important. Parishit did not just carry a gun, a ballistic missile, or a bow and arrow and started shooting Kali. He engaged him in a dialogue. People have reasons for doing what they do or for intending to do what they want to do. But we should engage people in dialogue. Then we can find a way to be able to address their needs. So the Bhagavatam is very instructive. See, we can read the Bhagavatam as just some pastimes, which is very good, it's purifying. But what is the application of the content in our own daily lives? So, let's swift or move to akṣauhiṇī-śatam. So today is akṣauhiṇī-śatam, meaning unending. It's a day of unending auspiciousness. If we initiate a change, we initiate a project, we embark on an initiative today, you're bound to have positive results. In fact, all over India, today is celebrated. I got messages from so many places, so many people I had never spoken to for months. Sending me best wishes of akṣauhiṇī-śatam in India. So, it is on this very day that when the Pandavas were in exile and they were living incognito at the at King Maharaj Vira's place. That one day, on this day, Maharaj Virad had solicited from Yudhishthira that can I have darshan of Lord Krishna? Yudhishthira said, no problem. We'll give it a chance when he comes. So Krishna came today to see the Pandavas, and he informed Krishna, and Krishna subscribed to the idea. And Maharaj Virat treated Krishna and Balaram to a boat ride. On this day, over 5,000 years ago, when the Pandavas were in exile. On this day, also, Rishabhadev, a famous Rishabhadev, Lord Rishabhadev, today was the day that he broke his fast with sugarcane juice. He's been fasting. And today he broke his fast. Today is also the day that Mother Draupadi received the Akṣaya-patra from who? So this patra was just an amazing part that it wouldn't be empty until except when Draupadi has eaten. And that's how this yogi, what's his name? Durvasa Muni. It's through the the mercy of the Akshaya poetry that Durvasa Muni and his disciples got messed up. They wanted to disgrace the Pandavas. They wanted to, inflict some pain on them. But when Krishna is on your side, who can, Mara Krishna, Raka Krishna, Mara. If Krishna wants to kill, who can provide? Who can protect? But if Krishna wants to kill, no one can protect us. So the important thing is that we have to see how we are genuinely becoming involved in Krishna consciousness to attract the mercy of Lord Krishna. In our own Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampādayan, we can talk of Akshaya Tritiya without mentioning about Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri had installed his wonderful deities on Govardhan. And the deities were buried for a long time. And after even being installed, one night, Madhavendra Puri had a dream. His deity wanted him to bring chandan from Malaya province. It's in Puri area. So he went on that trip. He stopped over at Gopinath's temple, and there the incident of the pastime of Gopinath stealing sweet rice. That was when that pastime transpired. And then when he went to Puri to collect all of these sandalwood, he came back to Gopinath's temple, and then he had a dream. Gopinath, his deity told him, Gopinath mentioned, the Lord appeared to him in a dream and told him, use the sandalwood on Gopinath here. He'd gone all the way to Puri to fulfill the desire of his deity. And this is an eye-opener, how we should not differentiate between deities. Krishna is one. So he quickly, without any hesitation, executed it. He used the chandan that he got from Puri to have it used to rub on the body of Gopinath. So Gopinath was very pleased with him. And then we have so many other pastimes that had transpired on this day. But the important factor is that when we have such auspicious occasions, it's a day for reflective thoughts. And especially for today, if we want to take a vow, say someone wants to chant so someone wants to chant 32 rounds, you should initiate that change today. Or someone wants to chant, 32 may be too much. Someone wants to chant 24 rounds. You should initiate it today. You should start it today. It's going to be very successful. Anything you want to do today in your devotional life that has been pending, just decide to start it today. Just today, without any more hesitations. Because that is the very auspiciousness of akṣaya. Whatever project that we initiate today will be successful. In business, they say, will be sustainable. So don't waste time. You'll be thinking of doing something for Krishna. You'll be thinking of increasing the quality of your service to Krishna and Guru. Today is the day to take a vow about the practical implications of what you need to do. And it will be sustained. Any comments or questions? Yes.
You have said that we always try to, like there are changes in our lives and we always try to resist the changes. Maharaj, like in our material circumstance or spiritual circumstance, we always tend to stay in that stable zone. We always try to reject the change. How to accept that?
It's called status quo. We do that because we tend to doubt about what is going to happen if we change our status quo. So I'll give an example. A woman is married and is being heavily abused. Heavily abused. And the husband and her, they are afraid of going to see some counselor because they're afraid the counselor may disrupt their marriage. It's a gross example. Status quo. If I leave this, I don't know what is in there for me. Okay. So is our natural situation to live in the status quo. Otherwise, you would have seen this place. I mean, the whole temple, whole of this Mayapur would have been filled with devotees. Some people, they even know that this devotional service is very good, but have to give up their status quo, how to initiate a positive change in their lives. It's very difficult. It's the nature of the conditioned soul. You don't, the Prabhupada uses this word conditioned soul, but sometimes we don't understand the meaning or the intensity of that word conditioned. We have been conditioned for a very long time. One German psychologist conducted an experiment to show how the nature of conditioning impacts on our lives. He conditioned a dog, Professor Pavlov. He conditioned a dog. The dog was put in a cage and they will bring the food. When they bring the food, they will ring a bell. So the dog got accustomed to food and bell. And then they will measure his salivation. So when even food was not there and the bell was rung, or the bell was rung, the dog was salivating. Food is not there. That is the nature, how conditioning impacts on our lives. So we know that material life is very miserable, but we cling on to it because of our conditioning. So by associating with devotees, by doing some service, that can become demystified. Otherwise, it's a mystery. Yes, any other comment? I'll give one more comment. Yes.
Maharaj, you said that we have to deal with people according to their values.
According to their?
Values. But you said that. You have to deal with people according to their values.
according to their values? So what is it that you were trying to ask?
Then a question came up in my mind is that if we have to deal according to their values, if their values are very low, then how do we deal?
I can't even recollect if I said something precisely that, because when you say you deal with people according to values, when people have higher values or lower values, even the people who have higher values, they need help until they come to have transcendental values. And the people who have lower values, we have lower values, and so we engage in Krishna consciousness to be able to promote our standard or our values. And so, if we have to speak to somebody, for instance, and he's already practicing Krishna consciousness, he knows so many things about devotional life, then we should, like you see what Krishna did with Arjuna. Krishna told Arjuna the ABC of spiritual life. The same Krishna spoke devotional culture to Uddhava, but on a very high level. He talked about even deity service, the muti. He didn't speak to Arjuna on all those levels. So yeah, even education or knowledge is impacted. We have to impact knowledge based on the standard of the person. If we go to meet our small nephew at home, and then we go to tell that little boy, hey, Govinda, do you know that dy dx is equals to gradient? You say, I don't understand what you're saying. But if you meet someone who is doing mathematics or calculus in the university, then you can talk about gradient. There will be a good flow of conversation. Like a good flow of conversation was taking place between Bhumi and religion personified. So yeah, in a sense, when we are speaking as a teacher, as a professional teacher, if I'm invited to some place, first of all, I will ask the person who invited me, what is the background of the audience? I remember I was in Brooklyn Temple one day to give a Sunday class, and one of the authorities, he came to me to say that, Maharaj, you talk low. These are not professors. But I don't need to be told about that. He was just being funny. So, yes, when we have, on a Sunday class, for instance, we don't have to talk too much of highfalutin devotional philosophy, because many new people come and they may not understand what we are saying. Yeah. All right. Thank you for participating in this Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Akshaya Tutriya ki jai.